Starting your own business, it often feels like this huge, intimidating mountain, doesn't it? Full of excitement, sure, but also just a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, that mix of I can do this, and then like, wait, how do I do
Yeah,
this?
exactly. But what if there was a clearer path, a map maybe, to make you feel, comfortable and confident?
That would make a world of difference.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into launching and operating a convenience store right here in Canada.
Oh, interesting. A classic small business venture.
It is, and it's actually surprisingly structured once you see the steps laid out.
Hmm.
Our mission today is to unpack a practical guide, break it all down into manageable, confidence-boosting steps.
Mm.
We're drawing from sources like the Canadian Convenience Store Launch and Operation Guide.
Right, giving you those real-world insights.
Exactly, so you feel ready, empowered, not just informed.
And that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not just what to do, but why it's crucial. We want to give you those aha moments, connecting the dots so you feel genuinely well-informed and, yeah, confident moving forward. It's about building that solid foundation.
All right, let's unpack this. When we say convenience store in Canada, what are we actually talking about? It's more than just, a corner shop.
It is, though that's often what we call them. Basically, it's a small retail business selling everyday stuff.
Like snacks, drinks.
Snacks, beverages, tobacco, those basic household things you run out of at, like, the worst possible moment.
Definitely been there, that 10 p.m. milk run.
Exactly. And they're known for long hours, right? Often 204/7. Designed for quick, easy access. Speed is the name of the game.
Okay.
In Canada, they're actually a pretty significant part of retail. They fill that niche for quick purchases when you don't want to deal with a big supermarket.
It makes sense. You see them everywhere.
You do. Residential areas near transit hubs, commercial spots, accessibility is their core strength.
So that convenience factor is key. But you mentioned trade-offs. It's not all easy, right?
No, definitely not. There are clear pros, obviously, for customers. Accessibility, the long hours, wide range for small space, quick service.
And for owners, those are good things, too.
Absolutely, they define your appeal. But the cons need careful thought.
Like higher prices.
Yeah, that's a big one. It's partly that convenience premium, but also higher operating costs for smaller stores and those long hours.
Right.
Selection is limited too, so you've got to be really smart about inventory. What actually sells? Space is tight, so layout matters a lot. And then there's the competition. Big retailers.
So the million-dollar question for someone starting out
is how will you stand out? What makes your store the one people choose? What's your unique convenience factor that a bigger chain can't easily match? That's the challenge, but also the real opportunity.
That really frames it well. Okay, so someone's thinking, yes, I want to do this. They've weighed the pros and cons. They're feeling ready.
Good. Confidence is key.
Where do they start with the actual legwork? It sounds like market intelligence is non-negotiable.
Absolutely critical. You cannot skip market research, period.
What does that actually involve?
It's about really understanding who your potential customers are. Demographics, sure, but also their habits, what they prefer, even how they like to pay.
And that tells you what to stock.
Exactly. It informs your products, your layout, even your marketing. Are they families needing healthy snacks? Students wanting late-night study fuel? You need to know. And then there's competitive analysis. Look at other convenience stores, yes, but also the big guys.
Pricing strategies.
Definitely. How will you price competitively but stay profitable? You can charge a bit more for convenience, but how much is too much?
Finding that sweet spot.
Right. It's about the perceived value of the convenience you offer. It's a balancing act.
Okay, so you've gathered all this amazing intel. You know your market, your competitors, but how do you stop from just drowning in data? How do you make it actionable?
That's where the business plan shines. Don't think of it as just a document you write once.
It's more dynamic.
Exactly. It's your roadmap, your guide, essential for managing your margins, forecasting, understanding the market deeply.
And for getting money, presumably?
Crucial for that. Loans, investors, even some franchise opportunities, they all want to see a solid, well-thought-out plan. It shows you're serious and you've done your homework. And speaking of money, securing capital is next. Loans, investments, maybe your own savings.
What kind of range are we talking? It must vary wildly.
It really does. Could be $50,000, could be $500,000, maybe even more.
Wow, okay.
Depends on size. If you're building out or taking over a space, what you're selling, and location, location, location.
Right.
A small independent spot is different from a big franchise with, say, food service. Your business plan helps nail down your specific financial needs, makes it feel less overwhelming.
Okay, plan in hand, funding thoughts percolating. Next up, finding that perfect spot. Location seems huge. What are the must-haves?
Paramount. It's more than just busy street. You need high foot traffic? Absolutely. Good visibility, can people easily see you?
Parking seems important.
Often overlooked but vital if people drive. And security. Good security for staff and customers, especially with those long hours.
Makes sense. Where strategically?
Near city centers, residential zones, transit hubs, commercial districts, even inside malls or subway stations can work really well for that captive audience.
But prime spots cost more.
They do. It's an investment. Rent versus potential revenue. You're investing in access to your customers. Choose wisely.
Got it. So, location secured. Now comes the part that often feels like a maze. Legal compliance. Permits. Registrations.
Yeah, the red tape.
It seems daunting, but you said it's about protection, right?
Absolutely. Protecting your business, your investment, it ensures smooth sailing. Let's break it down. Seeing it laid out helps build that comfort level.
Okay, where do we start?
Business structure registration. Are you incorporating federally? That involves filing applications, setting up articles of incorporation, kind of like your business's constitution, naming directors, having a registered office. And you need to keep it in good standing.
Sounds like accountant territory.
Good advice is recommended, definitely. And in Ontario, for example, you also need an Ontario business name registration. That needs renewing every 5 years. Then your business number from the CRA, Canada Revenue Agency.
Like a SIN for your business.
Pretty much. Needed for GST, payroll, corporate taxes, import-export. Sometimes you get it automatically when you incorporate federally or sign up for certain CRA programs.
Okay, and HST.
You need to figure out if you need to collect and remit the harmonized sales tax. Depends on your revenue and location. Basically, you collect it from customers, send it to the government. Beyond those basics, you need to find all the specific licenses, federal, provincial, municipal.
How do you even find them all?
There's a great tool called BizPal, online service. Answer questions about your business, location, and it helps list the permits you likely need. A real time saver.
BizPal. Okay, good tip. What about specifics for convenience stores? Food, lottery.
Right. Food safety is huge if you sell food. Contact your local health unit. Inspections of your space, equipment, processes. Got to meet standards, follow labeling rules, builds trust. Makes sense. Lottery tickets.
Need to register with the AGCO in Ontario Alcohol and Gaming Commission to sell OLG products or those break-open tickets.
Tobacco.
Requires an Ontario tobacco retail dealer's permit. If importing, you need an importer's certificate too. And critically, no selling contraband smokes without the Ontario tax mark. Illegal.
Got it. Anything else? Signs. Electrical.
Yep. Municipal permit for your signs, temporary or permanent. And an electrical permit from the Electrical Safety Authority, the ESA, for most electrical work. Usually need a licensed contractor for that. It sounds like a list, but tackling it systematically makes it manageable. My tip, keep everything organized. A binder, digital folder, whatever works for you. Track expiry dates.
Love that. A legal fortress binder. Okay, legal stuff tackled. Foundations are solid. Now the fun part. Building out the space.
Getting closer. Procuring equipment is next.
What's on the shopping list?
POS system, point of sale. Crucial for sales and tracking inventory. Coolers.
Ah, you mentioned suppliers might provide those. Sometimes. Beverage companies might give you branded coolers if you stock their stuff. Worth asking. Saves money.
Smart. What else?
Shelving, displays, cash registers, security systems. Definitely invest in good security. Peace of mind.
New or used?
Your call. Used can save a lot of capital up front, but check the condition carefully. A pitfall is blowing the budget on shiny new gear when good used stuff would work fine. And then, layout. Maximize that space, make it inviting, easy to get around. Cleanliness, no weird smells, welcoming entrance. Clear signs those basics matter so much. First impressions.
Totally. You walk in and just feel comfortable. Or not. Okay, store's taking shape. Time to fill those shelves. Inventory, how do you manage that effectively?
It's a big initial investment, so plan carefully. You need variety, snacks, drinks, groceries, maybe those licensed items like alcohol, tobacco, lottery.
The balancing act again.
Exactly. Balance selection with turnover. Stuff sitting on shelves is tied up capital. You want things moving, but you can't be out of bestsellers.
Where do you get the stock?
Find reliable wholesalers. Many will deliver right to your store, which is a huge help. Saves you time and hassle.
And finally, you need people. Staffing.
Crucial.
Yeah.
You need qualified, reliable staff for operations, obviously, but also for excellent customer service. That's often your edge.
Make sure they know the products.
Definitely helps. Customers ask questions. And be aware, labor shortages can be a real challenge. So hire proactively, pay competitively, try to keep good people, Train them well, not just register use, but customer interaction.
Okay, the doors are about to open. Lights on, shelves stocked, team ready. How do you get customers in and keep them coming back?
Marketing plan time.
Ah.
You need a strategy. Not just flyers, think broader.
Like what?
Local advertising community papers, maybe? Local social media groups? Partnering with nearby
A
businesses?
fast promotion day?
Social media is huge for connecting with your local community. Announce new stuff, specials. And loyalty programs reward repeat customers. Make them feel valued.
It's about building that customer base for the long haul.
Exactly. All that setup work needs to pay off with steady business.
Yeah.
Build relationships, not just transactions.
So we've covered the launch, but running the store day to day, long-term success, that requires ongoing effort, right? Effective practices.
Absolutely. It doesn't stop at opening day. Focus relentlessly on customer loyalty. It's easier to keep a customer than find a new one.
And keep the store looking good.
Immaculate. Cleanliness, good lighting, clear signs, non-negotiable. Implement solid inventory management systems, avoid empty shelves. Analyze your sales data regularly.
To see what's selling.
Yes. What's popular, what's not. When do people buy certain things? This helps adjust inventory, maybe even your layout. And keep an eye on pricing.
Price optimization.
Yeah. Review prices based on trends, demand, profitability. Maybe use some analytics tools. Continuous improvement keeps you competitive and profitable.
And the industry itself changes, right? You can't just stand still.
No way. You have to monitor trends and challenges constantly. Like the demand for healthier options, embrace that.
Online ordering, delivery.
Consider it. If it fits your market, technology like self-checkout, mobile payments, digital signs can enhance the experience. Some stores add services, postal, bill pay, maybe simple food prep, becoming a mini hub.
But challenges remain: competition, costs.
Always. Big retailers, changing tastes, operating costs, labor shortages. That's why strong supplier relationships are vital, keeps inventory flowing. But truly, the ultimate differentiator, excellent customer service, that personal touch, friendliness, helpfulness.
The thing the big chains struggle with sometimes.
Exactly. That's how you build lasting loyalty. The human connection keeps people coming back. It makes your store indispensable.
Wow. Okay, we've really covered the journey. From that initial idea, through planning, legal hurdles, setup, and now into ongoing success. We've laid out the map for launching and running a convenience store in Canada.
And what this deep dive shows, I think, is that while it is a big undertaking, starting a business like this is actually very structured. If you follow the phases: planning, legal, setup, operations, adapting your pairing, you can tackle it with real confidence. It breaks the mountain down into manageable steps. The unknown becomes known.
So for you listening, as you think about this, beyond just following these steps, what's your unique convenience factor going to be?
Yeah.
What will make your store stand out? How will you become truly essential to your community, more than just a place for snacks? Definitely something to mull over as you embark on your own business journey.